Hello, leaders. Welcome to Run to Your Leadership Challenges, the daily show that provides tips and techniques to help you navigate the leadership challenges you face every day. I'm your host, Paul Grau Jr. from the CLC Team, and we work primarily with military leaders to help them be the absolute best leader they can be. Our primary goal here is to help you lead from your very best self. Because let's face it, everyone deserves a great leader. So let's jump right into today's topic. So we are on the final day of discussing the 6 core essentials of leadership. And today we're covering the 6th core essential, which is evaluation and documentation. Now, I've kind of wrapped two together, but evaluation is a form of documentation, and that's important to understand. Now, I hope you've been listening, reading, or watching the videos all week long, and I hope you've been taking action and lots of notes to apply these core essentials. Today is kind of like the cherry on the top of the ice cream sundae. Evaluation and documentation go hand in hand, but they can be a touchy subject for many leaders because a lot of leaders have the impression if they give his or her people a poor evaluation or a poor documentation of any kind, they could ruin their people's careers. I've heard this a lot over the years. And you know what? I want to address that mindset first off. So if you have done everything up to this point, and followed the first 5 core essentials of leadership, the evaluation and any kind of documentation is not going to surprise any of your people. They're going to clearly know what is coming because they clearly know whether or not they've been meeting or exceeding the expectations based on what we talked about yesterday, effective feedback. So the only surprise will be is if you fail to document their behavior honestly. Now think about it. If you know your people, if you have explained how they fit in to the big picture, if you've given them clear expectations of what is expected of them, if you've followed up with effective feedback, you've done everything to set your people up for success. If you fail to evaluate and document their poor performance, you may just be hurting your own career at this point. After all, as a leader, you're paid to lead your people. You're paid to give honest evaluations. If you've followed all of the core essentials and your people still fail to meet the expectations, they are the ones that are hurting their careers. All that you're doing is documenting their actions and behaviors. And the only ones that they can be upset at is themselves because you did everything in your power to set them up for success. Another question I get asked a lot is when and what do you document? Do you document every time they are late? Do you document every time they have a poor attitude? Do you document every time they do something wrong or they've had poor performance? Well, the answer to that is it's really totally up to you. But I would answer all of those questions yes. There's an old saying that if it's not documented, it didn't happen. And that is so true, especially when it comes to disciplinary actions and exceptional actions. With that in mind, from my history, I usually verbally counsel people for the first time and follow up with a written letter saying that I verbally counseled them, and I'll sign it and I'll date it, and then I'll go to the person and explain to them, hey, this is just documented our verbal conversation that we had, and I'll ask them to sign it and date it. Now, here's the cool thing. If they refuse to sign and date it, that's fine. I just write in their signature block, member refused to sign, and I'll initial it and I'll date it. And then I keep that file in their official record. Furthermore, I never throw out any kind of documentation unless in very, very rare cases. If you throw out something, you have destroyed any record that you have. This may be a bit stricter than you may want to lead, and that's okay. Keep in mind, it's just as important to document stellar performance as it is subpar performance. Your people are going to light up when you approach them with a document that says they are doing a great job. You also file that in their professional file. So your challenge for today is to sit down and honestly evaluate and document your people based on the expectations and the feedback that you've set for them and given them throughout the year. Then, similar to feedback sessions, schedule a 30 to 60 minute time frame to sit down with them face to face with no distractions, and then have a conversation with them about their performance evaluation. Now, the key to the no distraction thing is so important, because the last thing that you want is to be pouring into your people and for your phone to ring, or for somebody to knock on the door, or for somebody to interrupt you. Man, that's unprofessional as a leader. You want to make sure you're giving your people your utmost attention when you're talking about evaluation and documentation. Remember, just as with the feedback, evaluation should be a two-way conversation. Be completely upfront and honest with them, and don't try to sugarcoat any poor performance. Remember, you are documenting their performance that you've talked to them about all year. At this point, there are absolutely no surprises. Hey, as always, thank you for listening. So, we have some big things going on here with our online membership group for leaders. It's actually growing, and we're adding a new group specifically for military leaders. Now, we're still working out all the details and bonuses that will be included, but for now, please help us spread the word. This group will be a place where military leaders can learn new skills, refine older skills, and have deep discussions with like-minded leaders who actually get exactly where other military leaders are coming from. We're going to tap into everyone's expertise, and the group members will help bring out the very best in each other. So keep tuned in, and please be sure to let any military leader that you know about this group, and that will be up and running very, very soon. This is going to be different than any other leadership development group out there. So be ready and, man, get excited. Hey, that's it for today. And until tomorrow, run to your challenges.